What's going on, everybody? Doc Average Gamer guys. We're back with some Tarkov news for this week. A couple of these happened a few days ago, so I want to jump in. I want to talk about a few of the things that BSG is up to, and then talk a little bit about where I continue to see the game moving, as well as some fun stuff that continues to come out. Chronicles of Recoil Part 2 have been released, the second episode, so we'll dive a little bit into that, and I want to make sure that you get your opportunity to get in and get some quality rewards from therapists. So without further ado, let's talk Tarkov. So jumping in first here really quick, and I think it's important that I show this first and foremost, is you need to make sure that you get important patient done. Now, I had a couple of these introduced already. You've probably seen some things on this. You probably, if you've paid attention at all to the Twitter, know that this was kind of the first event so far that we've gotten for the wipe, and it led into, once it was complete, Recoil basically making a recovery. You're going to see that in Chronicles of Recoil Part 2. I highly recommend you go give that a watch. It was a pretty good episode. Introduced a very familiar face that was pretty cool, and then certainly left a couple of things for us to take a look at, and there's lots of speculation and other things going on. I won't dive too much into that, but it was good. I love the series. I love what they're doing. I like that it's adding to the lore, which is pretty cool. So I definitely recommend giving it a watch. The first episode was a banger too, so we're starting to see some things stitched together in that, which is pretty neat. But if you have not played and have not been doing this, or just didn't pay attention to it when it was the ability to have it turned in unlimited, I was still showing this task, and as of Sunday, as of the recording of this, still had this open on my other accounts. So I went in quickly. You can buy these. An aseptic bandage is the white bandage, the army bandage is the green bandage, the 2-use, if you're not familiar with it. Go turn just one of each of these in, and you're going to get some absolutely amazing rewards. A meds case, especially if you're just starting, or maybe you haven't been playing a ton, and you're just kind of dabbling in it a little bit, these are fantastic rewards. The Grizzlies are great for post-raid healing. If you don't want to spend the money, you can use the Grizzly. It's really, really good. Vaseline is one of my favorite painkillers to run in my container. And then if you don't know what Propital and ETGCs are, they are just really, really good stims. The 5 health levels and the surgery levels are actually pretty cool. 5 health levels is actually really big for earlier game accounts, from the perspective that you need some health levels to do a few things. So highly recommend get in there, get important patient done. I don't know if this is going to hang around or not, or if they're going to turn it off, or if everybody is just going to have it. So just fair warning if this ends up going away, but I wanted to show that off. And again, some really, really solid rewards. I'm going to quickly jump over here, and let's talk about a couple of things that they've posted. Most recently, they've been keeping us up to date as of the 14th. More cheaters have been banned. This is, again, something that they are just looking like they're going to continue to do, because for a lot of the community, they wanted to know that they were banning people, so they're still banning that. They got some flack a little bit ago about posting, I think at the beginning of the month, about banning people and then putting the game on sale. Read into that whatever you want. They have to sell the game. Every game goes on sale at some point, but maybe the timing wasn't great. I don't know. You choose. I'm not going to buy into a whole bunch of that, but I can also understand why people would scratch their heads at that a little bit. But more cheaters have been banned. Most importantly, though, as we scroll up or down or around here, this one is big. This one right here, balancing changes to weapons. This is active as of me recording this today a couple hours ago. Vertical recoil for all weapons is down by 15%. Logical Solutions then came down, or did a subsequent post looking at the data, as he always does, and talked about 125 or so weapons have basically had this happen. And that makes sense because it's for all weapons. So I've played a few raids today. I have not noticed this a ton, but I have also not tested this. The biggest thing I take away from this is that they're continuing to listen. Nikita did talk about in the latest Tarkov TV podcast that they did, basically that he's not a fan of the recoil system. They were going to be reworking it, but I think they're hearing players want to be able to control their weapons, be able to accurately shoot. Now, there should still be some disadvantages from a fully automatic weapon to a semi-automatic weapon, but I think there also is just not necessarily a need for balance, right? Nikita has talked about that they don't really want to balance the guns. They want things to just rotate and cycle, and I think there should be lots of things that should be usable, and by making weapon recoil reduced by 15%, I think that's pretty good. I think this might bring a few weapons back into usability, which is really nice, and I think any continued adjustments that they make to recoil is going to be really, really good. So I'm looking forward to that. This kind of just leads me into what I wanted to talk about. That's really all the news we have. Again, there's some Chronicles of Rizhi stuff in here. Nice Guy's talking about what he thinks is all going on. Again, Season 2, Chapter 2, No Time to Die is up and rocking and rolling. But I want to spend some time just continuing to say I like that we're getting more communication. I like that they're continuing to tweak things as they always have done, but I think they're doing a better job of communicating it and making smart choices for the game itself. That will continue to be seen. I am really, really hoping at the next major patch, technical patch at least, we see some of the improvements of some of the stuff they were talking on Tarkov TV podcast. We did a whole breakdown a couple of videos ago. This was a little while ago. If you have not checked that out, or you're kind of just not up to date on EFT news, go give that a watch. I just really, really hope they continue to do that. Continue to communicate. Continue to let us know what they're working on. Continue to let us know what they're fixing. And continue to let us know that they hear the complaints from the majority of the player base. Right? Now, there are lots of things that every individual will want to change. I'm sure there's things that the streamer community wants to change. There's some stuff that just the base community, the newbies, everybody. There's something that lots of people want to change. I just really strongly feel like they're making good choices for the health of the game and for not necessarily the competition aspect, but like Recoil's one that they've got to get figured out for Arena. Like Arena has to feel fast-paced, and it has to feel like you can be accurate with skill, or I feel like that game, that mode, if you will, is going to struggle. I think if they can do it in a way that feels good, and it doesn't have to be perfect recoil. Not everything has to be a laser beam. It just has to be where you can apply some skill to it, and it can make sense to allow you to be successful. I would love to see patterns instead of all of the RNG-ness that we have been getting for quite a while now in EFT. Remove some of the randomness, reward the experienced players that have put in the time, and I think that's a really good way to go. And reducing weapon recoil and visual recoil is obviously also huge, because I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a couple of other changes that come to that. I would love to see basically like the blurriness of being hit if you're not pained up be limited. I'd love to see some type of adrenaline effect. We talked about a few of these things before. Some of the fights still feel a lot of RNG, like you can just barely spray and hit somebody and some other stuff will happen and you can get lucky, or the other guy gets lucky. I got killed earlier today in a recording from a Ash 12 player that hit me in the leg, and then I was aim punching him, and then he ended up hitting me in the head with the second shot, which might just be the recoil of that gun. But that's kind of a fight where I probably lose anyways, but aim punch shouldn't have helped him. So I think aim punch getting some adjustment would be something else that would be interesting to look at. But I want to see continued changes and continued communication, and I think BSG, to their credit, is doing a good job. Now, they might have been pushed pretty hard to be able to do that, but it is moving in the right direction. So short one here today. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what else you're thinking for the game. Let me know if any other news pops up that's popped below. I'll try to add that, because again, I'm recording this a couple days before it will go up, but I certainly hope you've been having a great week so far, and look forward to more Tarkov news as we continue to get it. Check out Chronicles of Rizhi. I think you'll enjoy it. With that one, I'll close it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for helping me out from a YouTube perspective. Throw some socials and some of that stuff at you, and we'll catch you in the next Let's Talk Tarkov. Peace.